Hi everybody, I'm DeLaney Gabriel and the date is August 14th, 2019. I'm a holistic practitioner here in Santa Barbara, California. My office is at State and Carrillo Street. And I'm going to be talking with you about hormones and anxiety and depression. The reason I want to do this one is because so many women especially are suffering from depression and most especially from anxiety, and it's often hormone based. I'm well known for 30 some years now as a hormone specialist, which is good for me and good for the clients who find me and find out about these things and the deficiencies in hormones through blood testing and things that I do. But there's a lot of others of you out there who are having a lot of problems, and you've gone to your doctors. Maybe they haven't tested your hormones and they've just told you, you know, you're fine and they'll see you back in 6 months or something. Or maybe they've tested your hormones and they've said that you're fine. So while I do definitely believe in hormone testing, and definitely I believe in hormone testing when possible before you start any kind of health regimen, sometimes we just don't have that kind of time to wait, or the doctors won't order it. Or like I said, the doctors have ordered it and they've pronounced you as being fine. And when you go in there, you know, all scrubbed up and makeup on and looking pretty, they just think that you have some kind of mental health disorder or depression, or life's just not good for you, or something.
Or they blame that's just the way it is.
Oh yeah, that's just the way it is. Or they blame it on a bad relationship or a bad job and those kinds of things. Well, I consider those things, but I look way beyond that in helping people. So what I never want to do is short circuit someone who is really having health issues with anxiety and depression and just trying to say, oh, it's just your hormones. But what I typically find, and the reason that I'm inspired to make this video, is because oftentimes it has a hormonal involvement at some level. So typically when there is anxiety, it can be because of low levels of progesterone. When we're in an anxiety state, then our adrenal glands produce a lot of the hormone called estrone. And when that happens, then it throws the total estrogens out of sync with progesterone. If that's the case, then I recommend, hope you can see this label. This is progesterone cream. It's 2 ounces. And generally my recommendation is 1 pump per day on days 8 to 28 of your cycle, if you're still having menstrual cycles. If you're not, then you may benefit from a full pump of it every night. So progesterone brings that soothing, calming part to estrogens.
What about men?
Men, I use progesterone for men, especially if their PSA, prostate-specific antigen, is high. But that's almost the only time, except, well, some other times that I'll do a different video on
Another
that.
video.
We'll just kind of leave that
Another
alone.
video.
We'll leave that there. So progesterone only if you feel that kind of adrenal surge and you're kind of wickedly exhausted from that, shaking and so forth, your handwriting's changed, things like that. Otherwise, I like the combination of progesterone and the 3 estrogens. So this product is my private label of Pro Tri-S Cream. It has 50% progesterone and 50% of the 3 different primary estrogens, which are estrone, estradiol, and estriol, the E1, 2, and 3. So without knowing more about somebody and without having your blood levels tested, I don't recommend taking estrogens in any way except in this kind of combination. So it's something, you can buy both of these on my website. And the reason I recommend these private label supplements and all of the supplements that are on my website is because they have history. of being very effective in my practice, because a lot of the work that I do is in monitoring people's blood tests, keeping them on good programs. And I have a relationship with most of my clients to the extent that if something's not working, boy, do they let me know it. And I create that kind of environment in my work. And when I ask them how they're doing and they say they're doing well or they're doing fine, my next question is, what does that mean? What is fine? What do you mean you're doing well? Explain that to me. Because a lot of times they're really not. They've just given up on telling people they have problems because they're tired of being dismissed. They're tired of getting something else that's not going to work, and they just don't want to deal with it. So sometimes what I do then is I have women use the progesterone cream at night, the one pump. And the way you use it is you pump it onto your wrists and then you rub it together like this and all on your inner arms, like you're trying to start a fire with a couple of sticks. We want it to get the circulation in there so it really gets into the bloodstream. And then for the Pro-Trias cream, I use it the same way.
You just put it on.
Yeah, just rub it on your wrist. I like the thin tissue there on the wrist. Because it absorbs faster. But if fast absorption doesn't always work for you, then rubbing it onto your ovaries or onto your abdomen or an area where you've got more fat on your body, that will slow it down. But I always want quick response and then rub it somewhere else on your body if you want to. Estrogen, the Pro-Trias cream, I don't want this applied on your breasts. But I do use the progesterone cream anytime women have little nabs and things and feeling in their breast, and that can get some pretty quick results. For depression or anxiety, what I would expect to see from you if you're using the right amount is that it takes the edge off. All I want to do is take the edge off. I'm not trying to rehabilitate anything. And what I believe in for hormones is I like what I call a daily dose. Just like for your meals today, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're going to use those up, and then tomorrow you need more. So that's what I like to do with hormones, because I don't like a big storage of things. Now, if I have your blood tests and I know that your levels are really low, then I'm going to make some modification in the recommended dosages. But without knowing you, without any information, and if I can help with passing on this information, that's certainly one of my goals. Because a lot of people are going to the health food store or buying things online, and maybe it works to give some benefits, but I'm wanting something that gives therapeutic dosages. And I know these do from repeated blood testing on lots of people over a long period of time. Then the other things that I recommend to help take some edge off when you don't have to, when it's not just hormonal. And I did another whole video just a few minutes ago about this, and I'm wearing the same top, so you can tell all the 3 videos that I'm doing today about depression and anxiety. This one's about hormones. So I like L-theanine drops that will help take the edge off quickly, and I like L-theanine capsules. One in the morning, one at bed. This one is needed. For those of you who are using painkillers or Xanax or Valium, those kinds of things, I would never want you to think that if those are really helping you, that you should just discontinue using those and use the things that I mentioned on this one or on the other video entitled Anxiety and Depression Holistic Solutions. I would want you to integrate this into it until you feel like it's really working well enough that you could discontinue or at least taper off of the others. So one other thing to throw at you, GABA and 5-HTP along with the progesterone cream at bed, and maybe some calcium magnesium. The one that I have that's my favorite is called MCHC. M is in Mary, CHC. So 2 MCHC 1 or 2 GABA and 5-HTP and a slather of progesterone normally produces a really nice sleep, doesn't leave you groggy the next morning, just helps you to be able to get up and get a good start on the day without feeling so much dread that so many people have. For progesterone, again, like I said, for those of you who have menstrual cycles day 8 to 28, some don't need it, some women don't need it until just right at ovulation, where it helps to get rid of the menstrual kind of aches and pains and bloating and so forth, and headaches that occur at that time of the cycle. So then you would use it like day 10 to day 28. And then if you do need some of the estrogen, it's normally a daily use, and typical dosage is a 1/4 teaspoon a day, every day, and normally in the morning. Helps your mind get clear and helps you get through the day. I hope that information has. Shelley, you have anything to add before I wrap up?
Can you take all of that together? Can you
yeah.
take the progesterone cream and the Pro-Triest together?
Shelley just asked if you can take these together. The only time I would do that would be if you do have sleep issues that are not being addressed from the Pro-Triest. I'm pretty much a Pro-Triest in the morning. And sometimes, because I'm 70 and I want my hormones to be a little bit more spunky there and get me through the day, I'll use about 1/8 of a teaspoon in the afternoon. And then I go for the progesterone cream at night. Did that answer?
Can you use the progesterone cream and the GABA and the and L-theanine,
all those.
Everything
together?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they're different things.
Right.
The other things I mentioned are amino acids that work off of the brain and brain chemistry. And then the progesterone is a hormone that just helps your, with anxiety. It helps with regrowing new bone that vitamin D on its own won't do. And just is very calming. And one of the wonderful things that I love about this progesterone cream that I found is that it helps balance out those estrogens, especially when estrogen is in excess. If estrogen's too low, you can have anxiety and just feel nervous and unsettled. If it's too high, same thing. Too low or too high, same kinds of results. If estrogen, and there is no hormone called estrogen, just like there's no fruit called fruit. Shelley, you've heard me say that every time I do a seminar. It just refers to a group of estrogens, namely estrone and estradiol. So the thing is to have your estrogens at a good level all of your life. And then as you start aging and those levels drop, then it's good to supply the estrogen back into your body.
Can you take the progesterone cream if you're a teenager, like 18 or 17?
Oh yeah. I use progesterone cream for menopausal symptoms, hot flashes, all of those kinds of hormonal issues that probably should do another video focused on that. But yes, absolutely. Right now, one of our youngest clients who's taking it, she's 15 now, and I've had her on it since she was 12, and it made a huge difference in her overall health, her overall attitude, PMS, all those kinds of things. So absolutely. For the younger someone is, or the smaller, lighter weight the body is, or level of sensitivity, then I might use 1/8 of a teaspoon instead of a full 1/4. What else you got?
Okay, I think that's
Other
it
questions?
for right
That's
now.
it. Okay, well, I'll invite you to like my Facebook page and visit my website, DeLaneyGabriel.com, and call the office, 805-969-3600. If we can answer any kind of simple question for you, we'd be glad to do that, or to schedule appointments. So thank you again for listening, and I just wish you a really, really fine day. Thank you.